Here we go then. We're jumping into our losers final now. Of course, the loser of this will go out of the tournament. The winner will then reconnect up with Diego Pacheco in that big matchup to see if we'll have a bracket match again against Houston, or we'll have a new player in that grand final. Joining me on the commentary of this one is Astralis' very own August Rosemeyer. Aggie, quick couple of words on Houston. You must have enjoyed that result.
Well, I'm gonna try to stay objective, obviously, but that was a top-class FIFA from Houston. I mean, a very controlled match and keeping 2 clean sheets in the games. That was impressive and perhaps a new Houston, you can say.
Definitely, I think he's always been known for how good he's been attacking wise. Defensively, maybe there's always been a bit of a leak there, and I mean, anyone that can keep a clean sheet over 2 legs deserves all the plaudits. So, of course, Houston will be in that grand final for today here in qualifying number 1. But let's turn our attention to this one, the loser semi-final. Oliboli, a penalty shootout win in the first game of the day. And of course, on the other side of that, we saw Adriman, the Spaniard, a new player on the PlayStation. I mean, you're very much familiar with what PlayStation has to offer, Aggie, in terms of all these competitors. There's just more and more talent coming through year after year, so it seems.
Yeah, definitely, and the performance from Adriman was convincing. I mean, he played very, very good and was very confident in playing direct, while Oliboli was a bit of a slow starter, you could say, but got a big win. When you win a match like that with that intensity, it can bring you very far. And I feel like we always count Oliboli a little bit out, but he just keeps delivering, keeps being consistent. It's going to be a very tight match.
Yeah, it is indeed. And of course, we'll have a quick look at the teams here. This is Oliboli's team. I mean, it's full of red picks, Aga. This man's had some serious luck on rewards today.
Yeah, definitely. The red Rashford, the red Joe Gomez, the red Bruno. He's definitely going to be happy, Oliboli. It's a nice squad.
Yeah, it's very nice indeed. Hopefully we'll get to see Adriman's squad as well. Sign for Ducks Gaming at the beginning of the FIFA 21 year. A quick look at this team again. Got the same sort of informs, just not lucky enough on red pick day, unfortunately, for, I'll say lucky enough, he's got Cristiano Ronaldo. Can't really batter an eyelid at that from Adriman, can you, Aga?
No, I mean, he won in the jackpot, but I also like that Adriman have Play of the Month Son. He is very, very good on the wing and allows you to shoot from many angles with his 5-star weak foot.
Someone else that deserves an honourable mention has to be Edwin van der Sar. What an incredible save he pulled off against Principe there. I mean, honourable mentions to Ruud Gullit in the team, but as you said, there is restrictions in play for qualifier number 1 here in Europe, so hence why you are seeing such a difference in teams. I mean, for yourself, Aga, you played in these qualifiers on the PS4. How was your team maybe a little bit different? Any players that maybe not everyone would have went for that you backed?
I think I had the quite similar team, just without being able to afford any icons. Actually, didn't have the best pack luck, but that's a part of the game and the charm of the game. So I was actually going with Rashford and Mane on the wings, and then Neymar and Mbappe. And I realized after the cup that I made a big mistake, because you need Cristiano Ronaldo on the team, and both players are aware of this.
I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, just so good, isn't he? So reliable, and we are going to be underway for this matchup now. And here we go then. It will be your loser semi-final. Of course, whoever crashes out of the tournament at this point will finish 4th in terms of the first qualifier of the year. It's still a tasty selection of points they'll be able to take home, and it will be 800 Global Series ranking points for... I should say 900. My apologies there, for a top 4 spot out of 2,262 players. I mean, that in itself, Aga, that number is growing and growing and growing here in Europe, as we'll talk about that in just a second. First chance of the game, 2-4 for Oliboli, if he can find Neymar on the ball. But, I mean, FIFA eSports is growing, no doubt about that, but certainly in Europe.
Yeah, you got to say that, Brandon. I mean, the competition and the width there is on the PS4 side in Europe is unreal. And I mean, so many new names coming on every year, but surprisingly enough, kind of, and in some way also not surprising at all. It's 6 names we've seen before at big tournaments. We saw Adriman as well. I believe he qualified for one of the majors last year, so he's not unfamiliar with being at these types of competitions, and I think he really proved his worth against Principe. Now it's time to do it again.
Well, it must be said he's already taken down one member of Team Makers. I'm sure that Team Makers will be thinking, please don't take down another one of our players. And Oliboli, here is Oliboli now with Ronaldo, does very well to get round the corner. Watch out for R9 for Oliboli. He is really the hero for the Swede up top. Scores so many goals, so many big goals. I mean, you said it perfectly, Agger. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the players that you sort of can't miss out on the team. If you've got R9 and you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, you can cause some serious problems. La Croqueta and Adriman will get this game underway. In the box, he just looks like a different animal.
And yeah, what a goal by Adriman. He's just twisting and turning and finishing off with the La Croqueta. That is still very efficient skill move, especially when you're standing still with your player. You can go right, you can go left, and it becomes a guessing game. And at the same time, as Ryan mentioned earlier, you're petrified to tackle because you're afraid to make that penalty. So a very, very nice skill move, and Adriman used it perfectly.
Although Oliboli's had a lot more of the possession and maybe been in the final third of Adriman a little bit more, it's Adriman that will get us underway. An early goal again from him. But it's just that final little touch in the box. You'll see it a couple of times now. Got to be unpredictable in those sort of areas. How important is it, Agger, to have a skill move under your sleeve and to do something that your opponent won't expect? Because for me, it's what separates the casual from the elite.
It's definitely one of the main things that separates the casual from the pros. It is that they don't only have one skill move they can pull off. They have around 10 different variations if it comes to with different go-to moves, such as the La Croqueta, the step overs, we see the ball rolls. We saw Houston making this, not the creative run, but the player lock. There are so many variations you can use, and these players, they masters all of them in every single aspect.
No, they really do. Oliboli still knocking on the door of Adriman. They missed their first two opening games. Oliboli on against MBD on a penalty shootout after a 5-5 thriller between those two. That game really went to the full weight. And the other side of that for Adriman. Was always on top against Principe. Was always piling the pressure on, made Principe feel uncomfortable. And it was him that to come out and attack. Corner for Adriman towards the front post. Ronaldo with a flick on. It's cleared high and wide by Patrick Vieira. Still Adriman looking to do what he can do. Ronaldo. In the end, it comes to nothing in the end, but one thing that's really impressed me, Agger, is how good Adriman's been in the box. He seems like he's already 2-3 steps ahead of his opponent every single time that ball gets near the 18-yard box.
Yeah, definitely, and we also see one thing I really love about Adriman's offensive gameplay is that he's always threatening with the through balls, and we also saw him score some goals against Principe with it. And when he starts to threaten with the through balls, Oliboli and his opponents have to drop back a little bit, and that will give him space to play and to attack and build up a bit more slowly. So also I really like Adriman's ball roll and then into a scoop turn. He's really efficient with that skill move as well.
It's a free kick for Oliboli from 27 metres out here. We'll play it short and try and work something from that. Ferland Mendy heavily involved in it. Cristiano Ronaldo can't barge his way past Paul Pogba, and this could be a counter-attack. That's one thing that Adriman's been so good at, is these through balls. When he comes at pace with you with the likes of Mbappe. Cristiano Ronaldo, got to be careful. Counter-attacking is so deadly if it's done at the right time and done with the right speed. R9. So that's one thing that we have to give credit on, is how good Adriman's been. I mean, one thing to talk about, Agger, it's a 4-4-2 for Oliboli, but he's using that second variation, so it means the two midfielders are very, very deep. I mean, the gap between the striker and the midfielders quite large.
Yeah, I used the formation myself, and I feel like it's a matter of taste. Are you comfortable with having centre mids or the defensive mid? Corner is played short. It's poofed all the way back to Juan Cuadrado.
recycling possession. It's like a wave after wave of pressure that Oliboli's had to deal with. What a ball that could be. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's done nothing so far around the goalkeeper. It's a simple ball roll. And it's a 40-50 yard through ball that just seems to be so effective.
Yeah, we see how effective they are, Brandon. I mean, we saw Adriman using them to take advantage of his games, and we also used him to do it, and now we see Oliboli also having success with it. His first game against, I would like to call him NPD as well, it's a bit easier. He was also trying to do these through balls. It's important that you're still threatening with them, because it will give you space to play on, because your opponent knows that you will make them.
His Neymar straight away off the back of that chance. And that should just about do us for half-time in our first leg here. Referee, bring us to a close, but it's happened a couple of times, Agro. I don't know if it's just where there's such a high line that's being played by both of these two, but it's a 30-40 yard through ball that it seems to be working every single time and catching both players off guard. Yeah,
you just got to believe in those through balls. Sometimes some players would eventually like to keep the possession a bit more. Is a bit afraid to lose the ball. You can also see that sometimes you just got to risk it, got to go for it. And eventually it paid off for Oliboli as well.
A couple of changes being made at the half-time break here. We'll give you an update to see if there have been any new personnel that's been introduced onto the field. I don't think there has been. It'll probably just be a change of custom tactics and game plans as we get back underway here. Such a big game this, because you win it, you're guaranteed top 3. Not just 900, just 1,000 Global Series ranking points. That'll be $10,000 guaranteed. So it's like a $4,000 game, really, this, in terms of the jump up. You lose, you take home 6,000, you win. You've got $10,000 guaranteed in your back pocket. Houston, on the other hand, is in a grand final. He's already guaranteed himself 1,200 Global Series points. You look at the playoffs there, Agger. I mean, Houston, you may as well put him towards the grand finals before we've even got into 2021.
Yeah, he is knocking on the door. He is very close now, but again, season is just started, so you can't make too many predictions yet, but with the play he is showing us, I think we'll see him if he can keep it up. He's simply too good to not be there.
As the game changes every year, you see familiar names, new names pop up. Remember, this is only one of 5 qualifiers as part of the FIFA 21 Global Series, so there's plenty more action to come over the season. Yesterday we saw BMG Lefty of Borussia Esports pick up the result on Xbox. He was Qualifier 1's champion again, a new German name. So many of them to talk about. Most dominant nations in competitive FIFA. Here's Ronaldo for Oliboli. Went for that bridge touch, but unfortunately did it in the wrong direction. And there's another through ball. It's these huge through balls. He's just offside there. I mean, speaking of the bridge touch, Agger, it's a very efficient touch that can be introduced. Is it something that's sort of implemented into your game already?
Yeah, I started to use it a lot. I had the pleasure of commentating the E-Super League as well, where I get to see the meta every week. So yes, I have indeed, Brandon. The bridge is also a thing we've seen a lot from Oliboli. And what I really like about Oliboli's game style, we also saw it last year, that he always has a plan B and C. He always seems to adapt to his opponent. He's never behind with too many goals that he can't come back into the game. And I feel like it's just a very, very good ability to have in competitive FIFA. Some people go down with a lot of numbers when they face hard opponents, but Oliboli, his game's always tight, and that means we always have a chance of winning the match.
Oliboli no way through there. We'll have a pause cue. 22 minutes left in the time. Popping out. It's that Player of the Month humming song that I haven't seen anybody else use other than Adriman. Cristiano Ronaldo goes down to ground. Referee, I think, may pull that one back for a free kick. If not, we'll go into the pause menu here. And what is being changed by Oliboli, Agger?
Not sure yet, but I think we're going to have some fresh legs in. I think it's Alphonso Davies once again coming in. Actually on the wing, which is surprising. Maybe he's going to change it in-game, but we have seen Alphonso Davies getting subbed on as well as yesterday, where we also saw it, and just bring in those fresh legs and the pace in order to get from box to box. Yeah, Alphonso Davies is a player we're going to see a lot more of in this year FIFA.
He certainly seems like the right option to add on alongside Lozano. Chance back to go. It's Adriman! Straight off the back of that pause. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo proving to be Mr. Reliable again. Not just any Cristiano Ronaldo. It's a red pick Cristiano Ronaldo. The luck of that on a Thursday morning.
Yeah, he's got to praising the FIFA gods for that red player pick. I'm jealous, to be honest, Brandon. I wish I had that luck. Instead, I'm rocking the Lozano. That's not too bad either. And also a player we've seen in this competition.
There's one thing that he's always had behind him, Adriman. He's been leading the games we've seen. He's leading so many times against Principe. Oliboli. He's now back chasing the tie. Lozano, fresh off the bench. The Mexican, can he pull away from the man? Unfortunately, no way around the corner there of Renato Sanchez. Huge long ball forward. This through ball seems to be like a really efficient way of just catching the back line off guard. If you can play the ball through, you've got good passes of the ball in your team. Lozano now. Got to find that interchange. He struggled to get R9 on the ball. Good bridge touch there. Comes to nothing in the end. Furlong Mendy happy just to interchange that. And that's one thing that Oliboli struggled with, Aga, here. Is getting R9 onto the ball. We can't forget he's got Cristiano Ronaldo and he's got R9 up there. If you're a defender against them and you can stop them linking up, you can stop them interchanging, and all you make them do is play back to their CDMs, that's where you can really sort of be deadly and cause a problem. As Ronaldo comes in, will he get a chance? We'll go out for a corner, out for a goal kick in the end, but just seems to struggle to get R9 and Ronaldo on the ball.
Yeah, definitely, and then he has to use his wings a bit more, Oliboli, and his wings, like, for example, he subbed in Alphonso Davies on the left wing, and he's perhaps not the most dangerous man in terms of attacking and shooting, so a lot of it relies on the two Ronaldos, and if you're good enough, I mean, over 180 minutes, it's gonna be nearly impossible to stop Oliboli from getting into positions that are dangerous with R9 and Cristiano. But if you can hold him to a certain limit amount of chances, you're on your way to win the match.
I mean, just look at this game in terms of the chances. Ronaldo that's had one chance the whole game. And Cristiano did score the goal for Oliboli. Yes, they're clinical, and yes, they're very much reliable. It's just getting them back onto the ball. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo for Oliboli. Around the corner, R9, is he going to be onside? He will be. Still R9, can't go down to ground. Great tackle from Joe Gomez and Adriman. Still is in possession though. Another wave of it to come. Adriman's going to have to defend. Added time to follow any second now too, so can the Spaniard hold on to this one? Vieira. Back to Bruno Fernandes, clears it long. And I think that will just about do us, Aga, for match number one. It's a 2-goal advantage. Or 2-1 lead, I should say, for Adriman there of Ducks Gaming. A really strong start, Aga. And, I mean, not the most to talk about in terms of chances and goals in that one. And a really tight, narrow game heading into the second leg.
Yeah, you got to applaud both players for being well-structured and very organized and fast to adapting and making the right player switch, because both players has been trying to make these through balls, and very solid defensive performance from both of the players. Going to be interesting in the second match.
Well, I'm sure there's a number of you out there thinking, how can I be this good? How can I get an opportunity to compete? I tell you what, PlayStation are offering you that chance this year as part of the PS4 Tournaments Open Series. You can sign up to regular weekly invitationals in the game of FIFA, and on your PlayStation, so many tournaments up for grabs. If you want to get yourselves involved, it's compete.playstation.com. And here's some information about those tournaments. Weekly tournaments for all skill levels. You can win a number of prizes, from dynamic themes to in-game currencies and even cash prizes. And those that are the best will have a chance to feature on weekly broadcasts hosted by PlayStation. If you're interested in getting involved, it's compete.playstation.com. I mean, Aga, I'm sure you can say enough about competitions. You started out from nowhere, became a world champion in 2014. There's still such an opportunity to get involved now in competitive FIFA, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely, and you got to start somewhere. And I mean, this is a very, very nice opportunity for yourself to show your ability to potential orgs, clubs, and to the entire world and succeed.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Get yourselves involved in the PS4 Tournaments Open Series. We're going to be jumping into that second leg as soon as it is ready. We're looking at two new players here, Aga. I mean, you're a player that has been lucky to play for so many esports organisations in your time. What is it like playing in that first tournament for a new team?
Well, definitely have this extra motivation to show your organization that they took the right choice of getting you into their roster. So I feel like both players have showed that by just being here, coming down to this stage. But yeah, both of them really motivated.
As we said, out of an incredible number of over 2,000 sign-ups it was for qualifier number one. If you are wanting to get yourself involved in the Global Series, tournaments taking place all year round as part of that road to the FIFA E World Cup Grand Finals. And we're looking to find out who's going to be guaranteeing themselves a top 3 spot after this match has concluded. You've got Adriman, recently signed for Dux Gaming, was playing for SV2 eSports before that. On the other side for Oliboli, was able to pick up a move for Team Makers. Principe may be out the tournament, but Team Makers still just about in qualifier number one, and they've got 19 game minutes to turn that match around, Aga. It's 2-1 down. It was a similar story for Oliboli. Just struggled to create chances in leg number one. What's he got to do to change that? Because I said it a couple of times, just struggled to get R9 and Ronaldo linking up together on the edge of the box. That's where they're most dangerous.
Yeah, you need to find the weaknesses, if you can say there is any weaknesses, because Adriman isn't showing any of them. But he needs to keep doing what he has been doing for what he started with basically in FIFA 20, coming into this second match, adapted to his opponent, know where can I hit him, where can I get the dangerous angles. I feel like Oliboli done it so many times now, so he can definitely do it again, but on the other hand, he needs to be very cautious when Adriman is having his counter attacks, because he's been deadly.
He's been so good, hasn't he? We've seen La Croquetas, we've seen a handful of skill moves chained, and I think you touched upon it a couple of times, Aga, just the certain combinations that he was able to find. But here we go then. We're underway for leg number 2. Dux Gaming against Team Makers. Who's going to come out on top and who's going to book a place in that loser bracket final against Diego Pacheto of Team BDS? 2-1. Adriman leads. This time he'll be kicking from left to right in that Dux Gaming strip. Oliboli, on the other hand, from right to left in this tight, looking to get an early goal where Cristiano Ronaldo tries to La Croqueta his way past Carl Walker. Unfortunately, not the way through that he would have wanted in the start of this game. Long ball forward. Able to be cleared in the end. I mean, speaking of Ferland Mendy, is there any other left back you can honestly use in FIFA 21 if you're a pro, Aga?
Well, we speak a lot about Alphonso Davies, and he's definitely an option as well, but it's just in terms of like Mendy and Varane is a package deal because of the links and the chemistry, and Alphonso Davies quite hard to link it because you need like a cluster man perhaps or some icons next to him, and there are these restrictions, so it's hard.
You said, yeah, a handful of restrictions to compete in these qualifiers. Here's R9. We said this before. Oliboli's got to get R9 back on the ball. He's got to start feeling confident with that Brazilian striker. He cost you so many coins. He's got to be involved, and you've got to do your best to keep him involved. At the moment, Adriman has been able to keep him at bay, keep him away from that area in the box. Here he gets the ball again for Oliboli. There's the bridge touch, which is so famous for pros now. A couple of step overs, a ball roll in there from Cristiano Ronaldo. Possession changes hands again, and this is where you've got to be careful if you're Oliboli, because Adriman's looking for those through balls, those really long, high through balls. He's looking to pick in those players in behind. It could be Ronaldo, it could be Mbappe, Heung-min Son, even Neymar. Here is Ronaldo driving forward. Heung-min Son just about keeping his run on side, and eventually that one comes to nothing in the end.
Let's appreciate Adriman's manual defending in the 1v1 situations. He's so good at handling it, because Oliboli has been great at getting the ball fast up to 2v2 situations where it's the 2 strikers against the 2 centre backs, and it's so hard to defend because you're afraid to make that tackle because you can eventually end out in a PK, and Adriman really solved it so far.
If you just watch on the screen now, you won't see a defender flicked onto at all. You've just seen it there, but before, just watch. It's just Hullet or Pogba. That's the only 2 that he's going to look to control. Chance there. There's R9. And as I said it before, if Oliboli can get R9 on the ball, he will change the game and he'll change his fortunes this year on FIFA 21. 21 minutes into the tie. Just see R9 peel off away from his man. All he needs is a sniff at goal. He's able to find the back of the net.
And that's what R9 does when he's on top, and he's usually on top, R9. And yeah, the weak foot again, you can score from every possible angle with him inside the box, and that makes him probably the most important card in the game, because he's so unique. You have the likes of Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, you can put as strikers, but R9 just has the entire package.
He has been the top goal scorer, in all honesty, for Oliboli. A cult hero, Ronaldo Nazario. Back to an even playing field. Adriman, watch out that through ball. He's looking for it. Pogba cuts it inside instead into Heung-min Son on the overlap. Heung-min Son now well defended by Kyle Walker. Especially in the box, you've got to be careful. More than ever this year. Sally just speared him on Oliboli, that goal. Plays the advantage. R9 was nearly around the corner. All the defenders there. As much as he can just disrupt this back line, it's going to help in Oliboli's favour.
Yeah, tight match, and soon I think we'll start to see, or at least when we hit the second half of the game, if it's still a draw, we're going to see the intensity, and we're probably going to see Adriman not playing as direct as we have seen him so far. He's gone a lot with the through balls, and Oliboli have adjusted to that in this match. I think when we come to the second half, we'll see him being a bit more patient on the ball, building up slowly because of the importance of this match.
Such an important game. If you lose it, you're out the tournament. It will be all eyes on qualifier number 2. Which, as we said already, if we see repeat names qualify and make it to broadcast, honestly, I'll be taking my hat off to them, because the level of consistency you have to have for that, honestly, to happen. Here's Adriman. That one looked a little bit too obvious there. I mean, from free kicks this year, Aga, from that sort of distance, what are you honestly looking to do? Is it a case of just playing it short?
I think there's different variations. I like to take it short, but sometimes I like the element of surprise and going for a direct free kick. But on this level, people are so good at moving the goalkeeper, placing him in the perfect angle, so you can't shoot near post, you can't shoot far post. It's tough, it's a balance.
Well, I mean, you're never really going to see a direct shot, especially up against the pro, because someone's either going to be on the line, well, the goalkeeper's going to be moved into that right area. Lovely long ball. That will be for Marcus Rashford. Just a couple of minutes before we're at the half-time interval here. 2-2, all square. Dunks game in Adriman, the only Spanish player to qualify for the European qualifier, one across the Xbox and the PlayStation. Same goes for Oliboli. Unfortunately, was not able to see Olilito in the Xbox final 6 yesterday. I'm sure he'll be watching from home, supporting his fellow countrymen. Oh no, and this is what he can do. Drops the shoulder, dancing in the box, back to Neymar. Wants to come in. Juan Cuadrado, really well defended. Just seems a bit more confidence though, Aga. He's getting on onto the ball. He's starting to find his feet in those areas.
He's knocking on the door, Oliboli, and we speak a lot about him, and I talked a lot about him, his ability to adjust and find the space and the angles, and he's getting closer, and I I feel like Adriman needs to change up his game when he has possession a little bit, because right now Oliboli is closer to the next goal than Adriman is, I feel.
I mean, we have to give a lot of credit as well, Aga, because that's 0 shots, that's 0 chances created from Adriman there in a half. A player that we know scores a lot of goals. We saw him score quite a lot of goals in the first leg and more importantly in his first game today. So for Oliboli to do that, to stop those through balls, to stop all the danger towards his goal, and for him to get a goal, a really good half from the Swede.
Yeah, complete player, and has been it for 2 FIFA games now. He just keeps impressing me. I love the interview as well with him, where he speaks about Boris Legend and his relation with Ololito as well. It's really good players to practice with, and being sharp all the time. So huge respect.
And I mean, just a word on that, Aga, in terms of, you're someone who's obviously heavily involved in the Danish scene. Is it a common thing? You've got fellow Danes supporting each other in tournaments. I just checked social media after Houston won that game, and all I saw was just a Dane after Dane just saying Houston looks like the real deal, Houston looks really, really good. Is it a case of just wanting to see success for your nation?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a common thing for all the nations, and it's the same case in Denmark. We always support each other when we're out at events, and right now Houston deserves all the praises he gets. 1 game away from becoming the champion. The interesting part will be to see who will be joining him in the final.
If you don't know the context of this game, winner of this plays against Diogo Pacheco in our loser final, and the winner of that will then rejoin Houston in the grand final. If Diogo was to win that game, it would be a rematch. A very decent prize pot as well, and all of the bragging rights. Who will be joining Bruce's lefty on that winners list in the FIFA 21 season, the first one of the year? Here's R9. This is where he could be deadly. R9, when he's in the box, there's always danger, and that's 2 or 3 times now where Oliboli's just been able to master the chance, find the run of Ronaldo Nazario, and for the first time in the 2 legs, he's taken the lead.
And yeah, we see a pause now for Adriman. He knows he needs to change up a little bit. Oliboli, what is there to say anymore? He just finds the space with R9, and again he just shows, R9 just shows it's nearly impossible to stop him when he first is looking into the goal in the box, because he can go both ways, and you can't close both angles all the time. And yeah, again, Oliboli and R9, it's a good love story.
It really is, and I'm sure it's a love story that's going to continue. Not just in today's qualifier, but over the FIFA 21 year. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a handful of players that use Ronaldo, use the icon. Certain players just have that special touch with him. Oliboli now leading by 3 goals to 2 in this one. Adriman yet to even register a single chance in this leg of FIFA, Raga. What's got to change for him?
I think he just made some minor changes. But as I said, I think he should try to take more possession, be a bit more patient. Oliboli has started to read him and knows he likes the through balls, and Adriman needs to come out with his entire repertoire now and think back on the things that worked for him in the first match against Oliboli. For instance, the ball roll and the scoop turn worked perfectly for him. The La Croqueta as well. That is some of the skill moves he can pull out.
I think on top of that, he just hasn't had possession. 33% possession chance for Oliboli. Cheeky chip in with Van der Sar. Didn't want to collect that one, instead double punch that away. Still the pressure's on Oliboli. Can he capitalise? Neymar just diving into the tackle there. And Vieira clearing up the danger. Fantastic tackle to add frustration back into those changes now. And is Oliboli changing anything? I think he might just be looking to bring on Lozano.
Yeah, perhaps it's the routine here from Oliboli with the substitutions with Lozano and Alphonso Davies. But again, we see here he's stressing a little bit now, Adriman. He can feel the pressure, and perhaps we see the the difference in terms of experience now, being on this stage when Adriman is behind and he knows there is around 22 virtual minutes left. He starts to rush the game a little bit, and it's not gonna work against a player of Oliboli's caliber.
He's got 20 minutes left to create something, but something changed. I don't know what it is about Oliboli's second legs, but they just seem to be 10 times better. Defensively, he's been sound. Going forward, he's looked deadly. The key thing is he's just got on the ball. I was banging on about it. First leg, just hasn't been able to get on the ball. This game, he's had, what, 2 chances, Aga? 2 chances, all the striker needed.
Yes, he can be yeah, you cannot see him for 89 minutes and then give him 1 minute, 1 second in the box, and he'll score. That's why he is the most expensive card in the game right now. Everyone wants him, and the 5-star weak foot, the 5-star skill move, his physicality, his quick turns as well. He has the entire package.
Could be a lot worse here. You can see the offside trap being spammed by Adriman. He wants to deny any chance of a third goal. Right, back into the changes here. We are looking at the POV of Oliboli, so he's pretty happy. He doesn't want to change anything. He's just waiting to get back into the tie. 15 minutes left for him to hold on, and he will be booking a date in that loser final against Diogo Pacheco. That will be a rematch, by the way. Those two matched up in these qualifiers, and it was a 5-4 victory for Diogo Pacheco of Team BDS, so that will be an exciting rematch that I'm sure Richard and Ryan will be looking forward to commentating. I mean, what's Gravison probably saying to Adriman here? He's got 15 minutes to give this a real good go, Aga. He's created no chances in this second leg. He's been able to he's just struggled, in all honesty.
I think Gravison is saying that there is still a lot of time left. Don't have to stress or rush any play yet, but you probably have to switch formation to a more offensive one, or at least change your instructions.
Game over. That's got to be game over, Aga. Alphonso Davies knows it in the celebration too. Adriman would have made those changes. You're exactly right by saying what you said about Gravison. It would have been a case of throw players forward. Unfortunately, with that comes gaps, and Alphonso Davies, the player to capitalise on that gap.
Yeah, we see it from Oliboli again. He's just, I think that the experience plays the part in this match. Oliboli comes back from being down, and he's just better at handling the situations where he's been under pressure, while Adriman has been stressing a bit more.
That's twice now across the 2 individual games he's played. When he's faced adversity, he has come out flying. 2-1 down, he was lost, and he defeated, I should say, in leg number 1. Leg number 2, he's come out flying. 3-0. He's yet to face a shot. Dominated possession, dominated the chances. And I can tell you now, he'll be well up for that loser final against Diogo Pacheco. Could be a chance for Adriman towards the back post. It's got to be a goal. I don't know where Mbappe was there.
I can't believe that wasn't a goal. And for the first time in the entire game, this through ball works for Adriman. But the cross, I think perhaps he mistimed it. Maybe was a bit unfortunate as well. Should have been a goal for Adriman. That was his small chance to get back into the game, but now it's surely GG.
Here we go, Davies again. Is it a brace for the Canadian? It will be. And it's all smiles for the Swede and his former teammate interjects, because they know they've guaranteed themselves at least a top 3 finish with a chance to continue this run in qualifier number 1 here in Europe. 4-0. A first-class performance from team makers Oliboli. And he'll be setting up a tie against Diogo Pacheco of Team BDS in our loser final. I'll tell you what, not a hat-trick. Surely not a hat-trick for Alphonso Davies. Why not? He's gone for the cheeky chip, and it's nearly come off for him in the end. Why not? All smiles here, Aga, and it's a great game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a very close match in the first leg, but then again, as I have been stating a few times during this match, Olipoli's experience and his ability to convert all the time. That makes him so consistent all the time. That is that he always seems to adapt, find the right momentum, the game situation, feeling it out perfectly. And now, yeah, he got the win.